Hi everyone, welcome to Chrysalis Cooks. We're just doing a cooking video for you. Today we're going to make no-bake chocolate cookies with peanut butter in them. But first we're going to start off with washing our hands because with the Canadian food safety handling, it's something that we need to do to prevent cross-contamination and make sure that our hands are fresh to start off with.
Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. All right, so we need a garbage.
This is thank you in ASL. It's a good way to do it as well instead of touching your hands to your face.
All right, so we are going to start by adding half a cup or 1 stick of butter to a saucepan on medium heat. Make sure I turn on the right pan.
Also, it's important to know that when you're using the stove, you want to make sure that you have somebody with you to make sure that you're not going to put your hand on a hot burner. Because right here we have 2 front burners. This one closest to my hand is not running. The one closest to Jillian is about to be turned on. And I would feel really bad if I went into this. My hand would start to hurt, so it's important to have somebody with you. It also helps because they can help with the cleanup process.
All right, and while that is melting, I am going to measure out 1.5 cups of white sugar, and I'm going to put that in our saucepan.
It's also important to know that when you're measuring out things, using one like this is really good to measure out your dry liquids. Your actual measuring cup you're going to use to do your liquids.
So 1 cup.
And then you need your half cup.
Okay. And then we need 1/2 cup of brown sugar.
Yep.
And it does say lightly packed, so because I have clean hands, I'm going to just pack it with my hands to get a nice measure. And then we are also going to add our 1/2 cup of milk, which we have pre-measured in our liquid measuring cup. And we're now just going to melt this until it is all combined.
And then I can do the others. Alright, I'm just going to move all of this stuff over this way.
Okay. So our butter is still melting, and that will help incorporate all of these ingredients. You don't want to do this on high heat because that can burn your sugars. So you want to make sure that it's on medium to medium-low heat.
It also says to add a pinch of salt, which is what I'm just going to add right now. It's always good to pour over. So that would be about the size of a pinch of salt. And you also need to do 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder. We're just using this.
And once our mixture is all melted and combined, we're going to be adding a half of a cup of smooth, creamy peanut butter. Whatever you have at home will work.
All right, and I'm just about to add in the 2 teaspoons of vanilla.
What's nice about these cookies is that you do not have to bake them. So you do not need your oven for this recipe, you just need your stovetop.
Alright, so next is going to be scooping out the peanut butter. It is only calling for a half a cup. So we are just going to use the measuring cup for our dry ingredients. And you're going to want to make sure to press it in to make sure that you are at your half cup. It doesn't have to look perfect because you are going to dump it right into the cookie mixture.
I can always take the spatula and scoop the rest of that out.
There's just some.
Okay. I'm just going to take my spatula that I'm using already and just scrape the rest of the peanut butter off. Now we wait for the peanut butter to melt. And be patient, make sure that you're stirring the whole time so that you are not burning your mixture.
And the peanut butter does not take that long to melt in with the mixture as it's warm.
And if there are any peanut allergies in your house, I have tested this recipe before with other butters such as almond butter, cashew butter, sunflower seed butter. It works with all of those as well. So if you do have allergies, you can change up the peanut butter for another nut or seed butter.
And to also make it vegan, you can use any kind of plant-based milk in there. Oat milk generally works the best because it's the same consistency as regular milk. And then you would just use Earth Balance for your butter.
All right, so now we're starting to get a really, really, really slow simmer happening. So that's when you see little bubbles forming. Now they're not coming. They're really, really little. They're just starting around the edges. So you do want to see that. And you can see that the peanut butter is all melted and everything is incorporated.
So our next part is to add quick oats. We're going to add 3 cups, and again we're going to use the dry.
I'm going to keep this mixture stirring in the meantime so that we do not burn anything.
And if you're not sure on how to do a cup, you just want to make sure that it'll top all the way up there. So I'm just short of a full cup, so I'll add a little bit more. So that's 1 cup. I also forgot to say that we are making a gluten-free version of it. You can use any kind of oats though. And that's 2 cups.
And you will see that Kealy and I are both wearing hairnets because we are in our Chrysalis Cook's kitchen. If you are at home and do not have hairnets, just make sure that if you have long hair that you have tied it back prior to washing your hands and starting your recipe, or even wearing a baseball cap will help keep your hair out of your baked goods. So I'm just incorporating the oats, continuing to mix them in. At this point I'm actually going to turn off my burner and just make sure that basically everything needs to be coated, so you don't want to see any dry oats. So make sure that you're using a spatula, because that helps to best scrape down your sides and make sure everything is well incorporated. Alright, so that is our mixture. I'm going to move it off of the burner, and Kealy is going to put lined baking sheet. You can either use wax paper or you can use your parchment paper as well. Both will work. And I'm going to just grab 2 spoons out of our clean drawer, and you're just going to drop by the tablespoon onto your cookie sheet. We are not baking these, so you can put them fairly close together. You do not need to worry about them, you just don't want them touching. And I'm using 2 spoons so that I'm able to not use my fingers and scoop them onto my sheet. This recipe does make 24 cookies. Do not be worried if you're make a couple more or make a few less, because it depends on the size that you drop them onto your sheet, how many cookies you will get.
And also with this recipe, we've done a version with it with halves, so it'll only make 12 if you're wanting to make a smaller batch of it for yourselves. And again, with these being the no bake, they are very soft cookies once they're hardened, or in a solid state, I should say.
And I know that it's tempting to try and eat our mixture of our, it's not really a dough, but of our cookie mixture. But it is much safer if you use 2 spoons and you do not use your fingers and lick them. You don't want to be sharing your germs with everyone in your family. You don't need to worry if they're all exactly the same size. They will all set and taste delicious in the end. And Kealy's just going to second baking sheet on the other side of me, doing the same thing, as I am running out of space on mine.
It happens. I run out of it every time I make these as well.
Yes. Okay. So while Kealy is scooping out the rest of your mixture, we have pre-made some of these for you guys so that you can see what they look like in their firmed up state. You will need to either leave them on the counter to firm up, or you will need to put them in your refrigerator. They're best stored in a fridge, or even they work in the freezer if you want to save some for later. So they're nice and soft, but they're solid and you can pick them up. If you tried to pick them up while they are still warm, they would fall apart. So make sure that you wait till they're fully cool before you enjoy them.
And enjoy, everybody.
Okay. They're very delicious and gooey. And if you like peanut butter and chocolate, you're going to love these cookies. Recipe. We will make sure that we post the recipe along with the video so you are able to make this at home. Thanks Thank you for joining us on
Our Chrysalis Cooks edition of baking no-bake chocolate peanut butter cookies.